Alessandro Monteduro, Director of Aid to the Church in Need in Italy, joins us now. Welcome, Alessandro. I know that you just came back from Burkina Faso on Sunday. What's the current situation like there?
But it's the same situation. First of all, it's a pleasure to stay with you this evening. But I was saying, I found the same situation I experienced personally in Iraq the first time in 2014, when I think you can remember 125,000 people were forced to flee their villages after the arrival of the Islamic State. In Burkina Faso, it's happening the same situation, or better, it's a situation worse than Iraq, because we aren't talking of only obviously 125,000 people, but we are talking in only 14 months of a population around about 800,000 people internally displaced. They are now living from their villages from the north of Burkina Faso because a lot of terroristic groups are trying to create a new Islamic caliphate in the Sahel region. The problem is that it's happening in the complete indifference of the Western countries. But daily now, in that part of the Sahel, we are registering a lot of terroristic attacks.
Why do you think people don't always see the severity of global Christian persecution in the world?
But I don't think there isn't the right feeling for the persecution of Christians in the world. I think the virus is the lack of information. There isn't sufficient information. I remember, like the day after, for instance, the past Easter, when we had the terroristic attacks inside churches in Sri Lanka, there was an amazing solidarity of the Catholics all over the world for our brothers in the faith in the same country attacked by terrorists. The problem is that, unfortunately, in the Western countries, it's my perception, there isn't sufficient information because we suffer for the politically correct.
Well, I know the UN reports 4,000 people in Burkina Faso are forced out of their homes every day. How is the aid to the Church in Need helping these communities?
Like in each country, obviously now we are focusing our operations, our projects, also and above all in Burkina Faso. Humanitarian aid, for instance. Humanitarian aid, I mean that we have to help them trying to create sufficient condition to live in other villages, creating camps for internally displaced, basket food, for example. And at the same time, we always, as Aid to the Church in Need, we combine the humanitarian aid with the pastoral needs. And so also in Burkina Faso, helping the local church, we want to create this synergy.
And in your opinion, Alessandro, how do you think the Western countries can give better support?
Interesting question. I think we have to be more courageous, and we have to create connection between the commercial, the industrial agreement and the requests of the respect of the human rights isn't acceptable, and it's also unbearable, for instance, to have in the only European Union relationship, commercial relationship with Pakistan for an amount over the 4 billion euro, and at the same time to allow in Pakistan what it's happening, for instance, recently with young girls kidnapped, forced to conversion, and to marry their kidnappers. And so the secret and the turning point should be to create this connection between commercial agreement and respect of human rights.
Well, Alessandro Monteduro, thank you so much. Alessandro Monteduro, Director of Aid to the Church in Need in Italy. Thank you again.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.